Hello and welcome to the Star Wars Armada Vassal World Cup 2021 semifinal quick recap. We have AngryEwok, the number 2 seed, versus Truthiness, the number 3 seed, matched up here in this semifinal game. Let's get into the fleets. If you don't recognize Truthiness' name, then you probably haven't checked out some of the best Armada content out there. Check out the Steel Strategy blog and their unnamed podcast on Apple Music and Podbean and some probably other places as well. Really great content out there. They're also the hosts of the Vassal World Cup, so really awesome job they've done putting on this tournament. And anyways, Truthiness is no stranger to the top 4 of the Vassal World Cup in 2016. He took Screed to the semifinals. Now he's bringing General Cracken on an MC-30 Scout frigate with ordnance experts, assault concussion missiles, turbo laser reroute circuits, and admonition. He's got 3 TRC-90s supporting it. All of them have engine techs. One of them is named Jaina's Light. And then there's 6 squadrons in his fleet. He's got Lando Calrissian, Shara Bay, and 4 YT-2400s for a total of 400 points, 4 activations, 7 deployments. This is a really fast and furious fleet, right? I mean, Lando's the slowest thing on the table here. And those CR90s, they're going to be going ham with the navigates, getting the most out of those engine techs, and really just getting as many double arcs as possible throughout the game, right? Cracken's going to help them, stay on the table, in addition to those evade 1.5, buffs. So, really tough fleet to take on here. You can't even beat in the squad game, really, because these squads have a lot of hull. They deal a lot of damage, right? So they're gonna slow up any squad-heavy fleets, and they're also very threatening to enemy ships in case you don't bring a whole lot of squads, right? So there's a whole lot of threat factor here. Not a whole lot of squad activations though, so it's really easy to alpha strike. But Truthiness is a great player, so I think he's really learned how, over the course of the tournament, really how to play around that disadvantage in the squad game, and keep those squadrons on the table. And as I said, he's a great player. He's really built a great fleet here. I wouldn't really change much about it. And if you want to check out more analysis, please check out my top 4 preview video about the fleets. Anyways, let's see how Truthiness got to the semifinal game here. So a quick review of Truthiness' path. If you want a more in-depth look, please do check out that preview video. So he came out of Pod Cracken with 3 wins, most notably over Paul Heaver. He's noted for his X-Wing prowess and success. I've heard he's kind of like the Tom Brady or the Roger Federer of sorts of X-Wing. I don't actually follow the scene, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And then that matched him up against me, of course. I went into the weekend, awaiting pairings for the Swiss, and I was like, I don't care who I get as long as it's not Truthiness, and I got Truthiness. And he really just flew circles around my fleet. I was able to get 284 points on him, but it wasn't enough. And then he matched up with Mando Moose. That's a tough matchup always. Sam is a wonderful player. So 2 onagers, 2 wins for Truthiness. He just knows how to fight him and take him down. And Wave continued to prove no match for Truthiness' fleet as he took down Louis Andre's Starhawk 134 with a Jaina's Light supporting it, 415 to 261. And then Arrhenius, who did bring some Wave 8 in the form of Agate, but brought a Liberty actually. And Arrhenius ended up with a victory over Truthiness. So that was 210 to 185, and it's really interesting to see Arrhenius. He had 2 wins over the semifinalists, Real Veers and Truthiness here, and unfortunately he was unable to make the semifinal himself. So I'd really wanted to take a look at Arrhenius' fleet and guess some of the games, but I wasn't able to watch any of those. So anyways, now let's check out AngryEwok and his fleet and his path to the semifinal. AngryEwok is bringing Admiral Ackbar as his commander on an assault frigate Mark IIB with intel officer, Cracken and Sholin, electronic countermeasures, and slave turrets. This is known as the Giga Drill build, and it's pretty nasty. You can throw 7 red dice with a concentrate fire dial. It's all re-rollable with Cracken and Sholin. It's really nice, really deadly. Intel officer even ups the pressure even more. Supporting it are 2 TRC-90s. One of them is Jaina's Light, and 2 GR-75s, one with CommsNet, the other with boosted comms. And then 6 squadrons, Shara Bay, Taiku Selchu, Ketsu Onyo, Harrison Dula, and 2 A-Wings. Really, this might not look like a rogue ball, but it is. You know, you got Hera activating 2 of those A-Wings, making them rogue, and then that GR75 with the boosted comms is really designed to get, you know, those other 2 A-Wings in there uh, in a form of like an alpha strike, really. So, and you know, like even if you want to alpha even more, you know, you can get the potato involved, you know, with the token. That's all 6 squadrons right there. So, really, this is a very versatile fleet. You know, it has, all of them have evades. You know, with the 1.5 buffs, it's really nice to have it from a defensive perspective. And you know, he's really gonna say, hey, come to me because I have 13 points a bid. He's got 5 activations, 8 deployments. It's hard to beat him from a strategic perspective. So because he's going to pick the battle on his terms, and he's going to make you either fly to him and make it as painful as possible on the way there, or he's going to, you know, pick your objective and really punish you for whatever objective you're bringing. So he's a great player. Let's see how he got to the semifinal here. AngryEwok came out of Pod Screed with a wonderful 3 victories over Imperial fleets. 2 of them were Onagers, and that matched him up against Saska, who brought Ackbar to the table as well with an assault frigate. But instead of TRC 90s, he had MC 30s, and TRC 90s proved to be the superior supporting vessel, you know, with AngryEwok coming out on top. And then a third Onager matchup here. You know, he's just like, I'm done, right? I got this in the bag. So, you know, if you can't tell from the scores, you know, it seemed to be a pretty similar game, 520 to 510, and 142 lost both times by AngryEwok. So, you know, he kind of figured out what he wants to do against an Onager. And then he fought off against Dooku. A really tough matchup, I think. You know, he's kind of a shock value, especially in, you know, a tournament this early in the Clone Wars lifespan. But, you know, it was a close one, but it still managed to be a 7-4 win for AngryEwok. And then he fought off against Real Veers. And, you know, catching up with AngryEwok after the tournament, I got some understanding that, you know, he was confident that a small loss would be sufficient for him to make it into the elimination stage. I'm not going to, you know, double check his math. The dude's really smart. He actually has a great YouTube channel, and check it out. So Real Veers was his opponent, right? And he's like, you know, if I just have a small loss here, I can guarantee an elimination stage game. So that's really what we're seeing here. That's you know, kind of his mindset going into it, and that's what he's able to achieve. Small 7-4 loss, and Real Veers was actually able to use this loss, or win, I guess, in Real Veers' case, to propel himself into the semifinal as well. So, you know, potential rematch on the table. I won't spoil anything, but do know that the final video is coming out soon after this one. So do check that out. And if you're looking for more in-depth analysis, please do check out that top 4 preview video where I kind of go more in-depth on the 4 semifinalist fleets and paths to the top 4. Alright, now let's get to the actual game. AngryEwok with his massive bid chose second player, and Truthiness ended up picking most wanted over abandoned mining facility and superior positions. While the squadron points were even, superior positions, this really gave too much in favor of Ewok. So that makes sense. AMF is never fun to play against, you know, with, you know, fish farming. So most wanted makes sense because Ewok only has 3 combat ships, so it's pretty straightforward, I think. So I think Truthiness made the right pick here. Now let's get to the actual battle. So we start the battle with Ewok on the bottom and Truthiness on the top. Truthiness is kind of showing us his perspective and you know, kind of his thought process here a little bit as to what he's picking. He ends up with the most wanted, as we discussed previously. And Ewok throws a station down on his side right there. And you know, Truthiness is trying to box in Ewok's fleet and try to prevent it from circling around. And Ewok, you know, kind of picks 3 smaller obstacles and puts them there on his side of the board. Really kind of build a small little buffer, I guess. And Truthiness starts there with the CR90 at speed 3. And I'm gonna get into the CR90s at speed 3 a little bit later once we get more on the board. You know, Ewok matches here with the GR75 at speed 2, and that's the CommsNet GR75. And squadrons get thrown down. And more squadrons get thrown down. And more squadrons get thrown down. One more wave. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Okay. Now we have all of them down on the board. Pretty mirrored matchup here. Now here comes the CR90 number 2 for Truthiness. This is also at speed 3. Alright. I think Ewok was having some internet connectivity issues. He DCs later on in the game, so that's why we're kind of having a delay here. So okay, now that we're back in, Ewok throws down his other GR75. This is the boosted comms one at speed 2. And really, like, you know, even though it is deployed to the right, those GR75s are navy enough to be able to, you know, even shift left if needed. So yeah, he's deployed facing right, but he can cut that turn really easily. You know, inside turn, speed up, slow down. You know, juke it around the obstacle before cutting it sharp. A lot of options there for Ewok. Now this is Janus Dark. This is Ewok's TRC90. No title, nothing else, just TRC90, and that goes down at speed 3 as well. And the fourth and final ship for Truthiness, the final deployment, is the Elimination at speed 3. So all Truthiness ships are at speed 3. And I would have gone for a speed 2 deployment here, and if you hear me out, really, you know, you can snag those tokens, speed turn 1, right? But really, you know, you can use that first turn to kind of redeploy your ships in a way. So speed 2 lets you kind of get it to a different spot. Like, okay, yeah, I'll delay engaging, and wait until you kind of box yourself in. And now I'll shoot up to speed 3, because, you know, he's got 4 small ships. They can stay outside of long range really easily. So now Space Potato comes in at speed 2, as does Janus Light at speed 3 there. And so this is really cagey deployment, right? And, you know, there's not a whole lot of tricks here. So I think a speed 2 to like some form of just, you know, kind of just taking it slower a little bit, not over pursuing. Would be wise. So moving into round 1, Admonition and Janus Dark were named the most wanted ships. Janus Dark is that blue marked CR90 that's on the bottom side of the board, and Admonition's obviously the only MC30 on the table. And I thought that was interesting. You know, usually you mark a GR75, but you know, Ewok kind of has them deployed in a way that they won't be protected. So he's like, sure, go ahead, shoot them. It won't be worth your while. So this one navigates up the speed 3 with a CommsNet. That's the CommsNet one. He uses a nav dial. Truthiness is taking tokens here and just shooting his ships forward. Again, like, I would have loved to see, he's committed to a left side battle here with that potato deployment. Right, swing that one on our left, that CR90 on our left, out to the side. Try to cut it off, right? You know, really, like, get in a spot where it will be in range to punish something. Or like you know, move it into range. That way you can move it out of range quickly next turn, right? With some foresight, or obviously not the title. Janus Light ends up using its navigation dial though. You know, it's kind of like, okay, Truthiness is like, all right, I'll give chase here. Like, you're gonna lead me in line. You got this nice carrot here, dangling in front of me with Janus Dark. I'll go after it. Now that was just out of range, I believe, as we ruled it. We didn't really have a great look at it. So I'm trying to remember if it was in range or not. Jaina's Light on Ewok's side slows down to speed 2 though. So, you know, Jaina's Light on top side of the board went up to speed 4, Jaina's Light on the bottom side went down to speed 2. Some minor overlaps, had some things shuffle around, nothing major. Squadron time, Sharabe, you know, takes the lead here, protecting the front of Jaina's Light. And then Truthiness sets up the rest of the screen. Ewok moves some things around passively instead of doing anything too aggressive. Tycho is the one that ended up trailing here. And Truthiness set up once more, you know, continuing setting up this nice line, essentially, like, sure, you can't dive in on any of my ships. I'm going to be in position to dive in no matter what, right? I think the only thing really stopping Truthiness here from kind of trying that cutting the head off the snake maneuver and approach is actually Ewok squadrons. You know, they can deal a lot of damage to ships, you know, all black dice. Ketsu's two blue, bomber, Hera's got blue-black, you know, like, that's a good amount of damage. I think that might be why he's not opting for that, but, or maybe he just thought he could keep the option open and didn't expect such a passive maneuver from the potato. It really is a passive maneuver, right? Ewok said, hey, I picked second player, I'm gonna make you come and get me. And he leads with Admonition here, most wanted ship, and pulls it up because, you know, Jaina's Dark did not have a shot on it from Jaina's Light. Jaina's Dark uses Navigate. It's at speed 3 at the moment. And we'll go up to speed 4. Or no, I already went up to speed 4. But I'll use that yaw just to help escape, right? Didn't even shoot. I'm not even sure if it could. Nice little shot there on the GR75 to spend the scatter. Moves up into position here with the engine techs. GR75 throws a token to Jaina's Dark. Was a repair token. This TRC-90 doesn't have a shot. I do apologize for all the alt-tabbing. I need to get myself a triple monitor set up. A lot of rulers. It's hard to tell what's going on here. Okay, so Tycho activated via boosted comms. Attacked Jaina's Light side and escaped. Had 1 damage that got redirected to the rear. Okay, then in comes the final ship for Truthiness on round 2. Now we have 2 activations here, parked just outside our red dice range of the Space Potato. So no shot coming in, you know, avoid that Giga Drill. And eventually it turns in here, you know, it's got parks on the side, you know, it's expert maneuvering here from Ewok. Then Jaina's Light shoots Jaina's Light. Wonderful hit here, you know, you got 3 damage, or 4 damage natively, you got that 5th damage from the tier C or natural crit, right? Evade has to be spent just to reroll one of them, so you're still at 4 damage. Burns the redirect, you know, just to avoid taking any of that on hull with that critical. And remember, while Cracken is on the table, Jaina's Light ignores obstructions, so that's how I got 3 red dice there. YT2400 nukes that A-Wing right off the table, taking no damage in return. Or, sorry, 1 damage in return. It's pretty nasty. You know, 4 dice, that 50% chance to hit. Pretty nice. Ketsu activates, comes in, doesn't deal much, 2 damage there. And Truthy moved Sharabe to help protect that CR90, or protect his Jaina's Light. Then he brought in another YT2400 that dealt 4 hits again, and another one that dealt 2 hits, so 12 dice rolled for Truthiness in the squadron game here. 10 of them were hits. That's really great returns. You know, normally you'd expect 6 to be hits, so he's really punching above his weight there. Not a whole lot of damage came in from Hera Syndulla's attack either. That was pretty disappointing from on Ewok's side. And yeah, he gets one of the YT2400s down to 2 hull, and Hera herself goes down to 2 hull. So it's not looking great for the Twi'lek captain of Phoenix Squadron, but you know, it's not the end of the world either. So while Truthiness does have the advantage here, you know, Ewok does have that activation advantage. You know, the Alpha Strike has happened, but now the second strike can come in. You know, the counter strike, right? The global offensive. Even though we're above. Oh gosh, this is Yavin. So yeah, this is Yavin. So here we are with setting of dials at the beginning of round 3 here. A little slow to update the scoreboard. This was the second game I commentated, and it was kind of late for me. Okay, so coming in with 2 Ackies and a double hit. Not terribly great, but you know, consistent enough on Jaina Stark, right? Use the navigate command to stay slow. You know, it wants to stay outside of that range of the space potato. So it's slowed down from speed 4 to speed 3. Jaina's Dark can't even shoot back, so it just escapes thanks to Cracken. Really mitigating that damage there. Can't take damage if the opponent can attack. One damage coming in here from the side arc of the CR90, one of the CR90s that Truthiness is bringing to the table. And then it swoops in here, you know, just checking that range. Want to stay out of range, right? Avoid the death. Avoid the big death. He parallel parks it, you know, right there next to Jaina's Light. Squadron command comes in now from from the GR75 here. That is the boosted comms, and only Ketsu activates. And Ketsu goes in and snipes one of the that YT2400 to secure a 5-point lead. for Ewok, and that GR75 escapes. Oh gosh, yes, all round 3 was on round 2, wasn't it? I apologize for the typo at the top. Okay, so then Hera. Sorry, that was a shot on the side arc of Jaina's Light, I believe. And then the front arc. No Ackbar shot here. Trying to deal the damage in on Jaina's Light. Face up, blinded gunners. Can't spend accuracies, I believe. Rough one to have. And then Jaina's Light shoots the admonition and gets blank ack. Did not want to burn any of the evades offensively, so he was kind of upset about that. Then he gets the move. I'd be upset about that too. It's a rough roll, you know, especially after that terrible Hero roll as well as those nasty YT2400 rolls. It's like, oh my gosh, the dice hate me. So I understand the feeling. Hera was in flak range. She got saved. And then this one also had a navigate dial. Considering his options here, like, do I swing around? Where do I park this thing? I've kind of run out of room. Can't keep it going straight because it will crash and burn and die. I think he kind of wanted to do speed 3 here, but he couldn't. Otherwise, he'd ram his own ship. Might not have been terrible, you know, but now he only has one ship already in range of the potato, right? Round 3 shot. Potato, please do it again, disregard that scoreboard error. The potato can easily, it doesn't have to worry about it. He only has one shot anyways. It doesn't have to think. So I do think that was a blunder there. He finishes off another YT2400. And that's with the squadron command from the space potato. So it doesn't even have a chance to activate. Now here comes the Doniger shot, as he calls it. And that's a lot of criticals. Massive damage, avoiding hull damage, but at great expense to the defense tokens here. Rams the flotilla to secure his spot in where he wants to be at speed 2 here. So really masterful flying from Ewok, and Truthiness is I'm a little disappointed. You know, he's gonna be in arc, right? You might as well move as a couple ships in here, right? You're gonna see why in the meantime, as these squadrons shoot each other a little bit. Not a whole lot dies at the moment here, I believe. Yeah, it's just some damage. So really what the issue is, you know, he kind of ran out of room to put things, right? Now that CR90 that got shot was actually the one I, you know, was kind of hoping would swing around and kind of try to go Rambo on the front arc there, you know, or at least, you know, kind of where that fork position is with the CR90 and the GR75. And really, I was hoping it'd be in that spot because, you know, then you can actually contest, right? Right now he's in full chase mode here. Yeah, he has the engine techs, but it's going to be hard for him to chase down anything, especially because it's already at long range. He's got to move into red range, or move into the death range, right? And he's out of range at the moment, right? So it's tough to set, you know. He does take out Hera. I'm not sure if that just happened or if I missed it, but Hera did go down. So Truthiness does hold a slight lead in the squadron game, but really, you know, I think it's still there for Ewok. He uses a concentrate fire command, I believe. No, he has the most wanted, and uses a navigate to get that extra navigational bend there. Inside turn at speed 4, you know, keep that Cracken buff, keep that ship on the table. You know, stay as healthy as possible. As it is lacking a redirect, use the TRCs offensively to try to deal damage to Jaina's Dark. But not a whole lot. So Jaina's Light uses Navigate. It's got a side arc shot here. It can throw. Throw 4. Oh, Ackbar. Duh. Yeah, Ackbar most wanted. So, yep, that's 4 dice. A lot of damage there. But not a whole lot actually, because, you know, Admonition has a good defense token suite. Jaina's Light has no shot and has to move into death range. This GR75 just scoots away with the Navigate, slowing down the speed 2. It's kind of out of the game at this point. Spoiler alert. This is me trying to boot up my Telestrator here. So yeah, it looks like a clear shot in that side arc. This CR90 also lacked a shot. Like I said, you know, if you're gonna move 2 ships into the death zone, if you're gonna move a ship into the death zone, move 2. You know, he's gonna be able to hit one no matter what. Punish him for it, right? Let the other one slip through. I think this is just kind of overcommittal from Truthiness, really. You know, maybe, like I said, trying to get that one ship on the front arc of the, at least, you know, somewhere on the right side here that it's not chasing, and kind of more intercepting is kind of what I think you want to see. Now, Admo is not really sure where it wants to go. Currently speed 3, parks it in there quite nicely. It's in red range, right, but it's abstracted. So you're just essentially most wanting is netting that die back. And now we're moving to squadrons. Oh no, sorry, Doniger had the Space Potato had a squadron command once more, and just letting the squadrons go to town. He grits away from Lando with Ketsu, trying to keep her safe. She's a squishy target. Lando is shooting Tycho's shooting Lando, and then escapes. And then here comes this A-wing, and it's sad and misses. Really, it only does 1 damage, and which gets re-rolled anyways to an accuracy. So no damage coming in. Now here comes the big shot from the Giga Drill, re-rolling into 2 double hits. Really nice roll there, 8 damage, even with the obstruction. That was on Jaina's Light. So big win there for Ewok, 93 to 39 in round 4. Now Jaina's Dark is shooting. And accelerates away with no burnt defense tokens. Really, I think that is, yeah, it had used its redirect, but it's still fine. It's fine. Shara takes no damage because scatter. This YT 2400. They're just chunking into Shara here. Shara swings at Lando. He rerolls all of them. Mitigates the damage from 3 down to 1, so Lando is still alive. Lando completely whiffs on this A-Wing. You know, he was hoping to be able to somehow secure 4 damage, right? You know, by burning that brace and escaping to the station or something with grit. But ultimately, it wasn't enough. You know, 3 accuracies, that's pretty rough luck. He needed to deal 4 damage. He only had, or he needed to see 2 damage, right? From his non-red die, and he only saw 1. So, pretty rough luck there. Funnily enough, that roll would have been able to kill Sharabe, and Lando could have escaped if he didn't die. But it's a clear shot here. The pros even forget some of the rules, such in the nuances of the line of sight rules. So if you're a newer player and you're like, am I stupid? I just keep forgetting the line of sight rules, or attacking is confusing. Don't worry, it's not you. It's Star Wars Armada. So these guys had a hard time remembering if the little plastic forks that stick out from the ship that frame the shield dial count for obstruction. They do not, according to the rules manual. So, always consult your rules reference guide. Um, Check out Karnak's Armada rules manual. It's a great reference as well, you know, because it's easily control leftable and it's well organized. So, this shot was not obstructed. Pretty nice damage coming in here on Jaina's Dark. Ruptured engine, whenever it changes speed, or something, or whenever it's going above a certain speed, if whatever, something regarding to its speed uh, causes its damage. So this is really how Truthiness is going to be looking forward to getting some hull damage there on that CR90. And this CR90 had a navigation token, which it spent here to park in not 1, not 2, but 3, as you can tell here, double arcs. So the CR90s, only 1 shot was really worthwhile. A concentrate fire token or dial was able to get, you know, the second die out of the rear arc. Lando did not get hit by the flak, and then he kind of jaunts himself out there, making room for the assault frigate. This CR90 is trying to swing its way up into the fray once more. Engine tacking into the rear arcs once, of both these ships here. Then the boosted comms one activates Tycho. Tycho goes and shoots, misses. Activates Katsu with boosted comms, misses. Double ack. Pretty rough luck there for Ewok, right? The dice aren't going his way and they're hurting. Just a reminder, one of those CR90s has blinding gunners. I believe it's probably the one with hull damage. No, that was Jane's Light that had blinding gunners. Okay. Now the MC30 moves into range here, but slave turrets, you only have 1 attack. I think this is kind of like a bait shot, right? Like, go ahead, shoot me. I'm gonna admonition, and I'm gonna mitigate most of this damage. Ewok's smarter than that. Lando gets cleared off the table by Shara. And then the rear arc shot does damage controls to the CR90. I think that reduces the yaw, I believe, and the last click. It uses its navigational token to slow down the speed. Uno. This one had a concentrate fire command, but it doesn't have a shot due to Cracken obstruction. And that excellent park by that CR90, so that CR90 stays alive with a handful of hull. Jaina's Dark escapes with speed 4. So it was already speed 4, it's staying speed 4. Squadron time. 3 damage in from Shara. 2 Shara. Now YT-2400 activates. Ruptured Engines deals the damage on the rear arc there. This YT-2400 comes in clutch, kills Shara, you know, perfect roll. He moves on to the station heal. This one moves up, it needs to deal damage right at this point, otherwise it's toast. And it's round 6, right, so right now Truthiness it's not looking great, right? The opposing ships are running away, not a whole lot of damage on them. His squadrons are decimated, right? And it's going to come down to getting the right rolls on those YT-2400s and Ruptured Engines finishing off Janus Dark if he wants to win. And he can't lose anything else in the process. So he shot the Space Potato, minimal damage, engine techs away to safety, trying to protect the points. You know, he's got a win condition, right? He's got to get the YT-2400s to hit. He's got to have the rupture damage, finish off Janus Dark. And then the most wanted points will do the rest of the work. Again, if he had a ship coming in from the front, Janus Dark, and I don't think Janus Dark would be where it is. Might not even be alive, right? You know, just putting more pressure on it. He just didn't have enough shots in this game. Only one ship has any substantial damage on it, and that's Janus Dark, and it's not even going to go down. Like without an active, wonderful rolls. You know, he's got 2 25% chances. He needs to see, so that's what 12.5% chance. It's too tired to do math here. The flat comes in, does some damage, parks it. He healed off the ruptured engines, which was a requirement for Truthiness to win. And just trying to see if this thing can survive. No, it can't. Rear arc shot wasn't enough. And the Space Potato moves away. Nothing else can die, so that is the final score, 175 to 56. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in watching the final, I will have that uploaded soon. If for the time being, you know, please do watch the other semifinal between Gilid Paleon and Real Veers.